Okay, sit yourself onto your left. Just come into a good cross-legged position. And then just spend a little time in cross legs just to observe the balance of your seat bones, so that it feels as though you are really consciously sitting with awareness. So have a little wriggle about, and just, it's the first moment of mindfulness, really, this moment of just engaging with the seat bones, just engaging with your balance. So hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, and spend a moment just to establish the balance of your seat bones. Draw in your shoulders down away from your ears, lengthen your neck up to the ceiling. Just look down at the floor, look at something that isn't moving. And then take some deep inhalations, deep exhalations in through the nose and out through the nose. Soften your jaw and your tongue and your throat. Bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. Elbows into the heels of the hands into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to close. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Just fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom, breathing evenly into both lungs. Just feeling the sensations of the lungs as they expand with the in-breath and relax with the out-breath. Gauging your balance of the seat bones, the balance of the breath. Bring your jaw down to meet the chest, the chin down to meet the chest. Feeling the back of the neck stretching out. Lengthening the shoulders away from your ears. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Just bring the tip of the index finger to the tip of the thumb, stretching the other fingers away from the palm of the hand, just a gesture of wisdom and peacefulness that we can carry as an intention into our practice. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Just hold on to your knees, lift up into the chest and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Close your eyes for a moment and just observe the rise and the fall of the chest as you inhale and as you exhale. And as you do so, just acknowledge something or someone or somewhere that brings you positive energy. Just allowing a feeling of positive energy to radiate around the heart area. Just draw into mind some of the things that bring you positive energy. Feeling that accumulation of positive energy around the heart area. Hold on to that feeling and then just allow your eyes to open. Lift up into the heart area, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And with the exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chin, with the chest even. Drawing the shoulders away from your ears just to stretch out the back of the neck. Take a deep inhalation and then with the exhalation raise the chin up to meet the ceiling, stretching out the front of the neck. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Feeling the underside of the chin and the neck really stretching out. Push the chin to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation and with the exhalation, come down, bringing the chin down to meet the chest. And then one more time, raising the chin to the ceiling, pushing the chin up to the sky. Feeling the resistance. And then with an exhalation, come back to the center. Take a deep inhalation and then right ear over towards the right shoulder, but keeping the shoulders down. Just stretching out the left side of the neck. Take a deep inhalation and with the exhalation come back to the center and then left ear over to the left shoulder. Take a deep in breath and with an out breath come back to the center and just back over to the right side. Bringing the chin a little closer to the chest, or drawing the chin inwards just to find a different part of the neck to stretch. Take a deep inhalation and then back to the center and then over to the left. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, just stretching out those neck muscles. And then with an exhalation, come back to the center. Hold on to your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders, keeping your neck still. Just observing the balance at the seat bones, maintaining that balance, just in the position of the torso to maintain evenness of the seat bones. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Drawing your abdomen across, your ribs across, your shoulders across. And then gently come back to the center. Just come off your lift, sit back on your heels and come into Adho Mukha Virasana. So stretching into Adho Mukha Virasana, just keeping the seat bones down on the heels as much as you can, lengthening into the arms. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, come up into dog down, just feeling your way into the pose. Tightening the kneecaps, hitting the top of the thigh into the back of the leg. Turning the tops of the thighs inwards, lifting the seat bones up towards the ceiling. Just come back down onto your knees and just sit back on your heels for a moment. Just sit back in Virasana. So the part of the leg that I want you to really concentrate on is the very top of the thigh. So sitting back on your knees, I want you to bring your thumb into the top of the thigh just before it meets the crease of the groin. So press your thumb really firmly down into that top of the leg. So you try and press it kind of through to the back of the leg. I don't want you to give yourself a bruise or anything, but just press firmly down and then lift up into the chest. Gather your shoulder blades together, just keep pressing down at the tops of the thighs. And then release. And then if that was with the pad of your thumb, go for the tip of your thumb and just in the same place, just press down into the top of your thigh. So it's right in the center of your thigh. and then release. And then maybe that's left a little kind of template in the tops of your thighs. Come back up into dog down. And where you were working, where you were pressing your thumb, press that area in. Press that thigh, the top of the thigh, through to the back of the knee. Turn those dots inwards towards each other so that you have space in your hips and so that you turn the legs. You have to turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Really activating the tops of the thighs. So it's like someone's got a belt around the top of your legs and they're pulling you back. It's a really good way to get stretch into the spine, to take the weight away from the arms. So hit those dots back. And then step feet forwards, just come up into standing position, and then get yourself a couple of blocks for your hands for parsvottanasana. Have your feet as wide apart as the mat, and then again just feel those dots on the tops of your thighs, just refresh them a little. Press the tip of the index finger into those areas, so right in the center of the top of the thigh, press in, and then lift up into the chest, tighten the kneecaps, turn the thighs, try and get those dots to turn towards each other. With your hands on your hips, lift up into your chest, and then come forwards, and then reach down and find the blocks. Now go back to the legs. Just make sure the outer edge of the feet are in line with the edge of the mat. The toes are turned in towards each other a little. The kneecaps are tightened. Thigh muscles are lifting, and then that dot of the thigh pushes through to the back of the knee. Turn those dots inwards a little more to give you more space. Pick up the seat bones and project the chin and the chest forward. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Lifting those dots to the tops of the legs, pushing them through to the backs of the thighs, projecting the chin and the chest forwards. If you can go down lower, then do. So as you go down lower, if you are going down lower, just really concentrate on the tops of the thighs, projecting the chin and the chest away. If you can reach around the backs of your heels, then draw the body into the space between the legs, but not at the expense of losing the extension of the spine, of losing that action of the dot. Okay, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and then bring your hands into your hips, and then come up into a standing position. Just come into Tadasana. So just stand in Tadasana, and again just refresh those dots. Hit the dots back, turn them inwards, by turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, by tightening the kneecaps, turning the inner knees towards the back of the room, just finding your balance. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet apart. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, being mindful that that heel of this right leg comes in line with the instep of the back leg. And then just release your hands for a second. Just feel where those dots are. They're kind of asymmetrical now, but try and keep them level this way. They want to do that, so they will do that to a degree, but try and keep them level this way. But then turn this leg. Try and get that dot to point over to the side. Try and get this dot to point to the front. Lift up to the chest and then come over, keeping those dots activated. Getting that right dot to turn to the right side of the room. Getting the left dot, the back leg dot, to point into the middle of the room and maybe even out to the side. Look up and breathe. Keep turning the thighs, keep lifting the thighs, keep activating the thigh. So have a quick look down as your head over your foot. If it's not, then lift the chest a little more. Activate the thighs a little more. Squeeze the front leg buttock bone in a little more. And look back up. And then come back to the center. Swap the feet around. Turn the right toes in and the left leg and foot all the way out. Think about those dots. Lift the dots up to the hip socket, and then turn this left dot around to the side of the room. Turn this one around to the front of the room, and then reach over. Look up. So keep those dots activated. Pushing the fronts of the dots through to the backs of the dots. Turning the dots outwards. Just feeling the activation of the legs when they really work right up into the top of the leg, almost into the hip socket. Feel that you lift your energy from the feet into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs, up into the hips, and then up into the spine, into the arms, into the head. So a quick glance, make sure your head's in the right place. Just look down to the bottom foot. And then come back to the center. Bring the feet parallel and then step. Jump the feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. So just remind yourself where the dots are. Just listen to the breath. So focus on your Tadasana from the feet all the way up to the top of the head. So just feel the pose. Does it feel like it's too strong in the lumbar? In which case, turn the tailbone in, draw the abdomen into the spine. Are your legs activated? Are they activated evenly? Does it feel like your chest is lifting evenly? Are those dots turning in towards each other? Stretch your arms in front of you, really spread the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, reach behind you, bring the fingers together and then walk the fingers up towards the back of the neck, up into namaskarasana. And then lengthen the shoulders into the elbows into the heels of the hands, lengthening the elbows towards the back of the room. You can go back to your Tadasana. Just observe What's happened to your legs, to your lumbar, to the dots at the fronts of the thighs? Can you turn them inwards a little? Lift up into the chest. Just take deep inhalations and exhalations. And then gently release, spread the fingers, spread the palms. So namaskarasana isn't always instantly comfortable, is it? But we're not necessarily always doing things for comfort, we're doing things because they wake up the body. Just feel the energy of the arms. Get a couple of blocks on the right side of your mat. We're going to do parsvottanasana, but with the hands in namaskarasana. But whilst you're there, you can let go if you need to of namaskarasana and then reach down and find the blocks. So just remind yourself where those dots are. Just give it a little scratch with your fingernail so you know where it is or know where they are. Stretch your arms forwards. Spread the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, reach behind you, bring the tips of the fingers together, walk the hands up towards your neck. So the more often you do namaskarasana, the more comfortable it becomes. Comfortable maybe is not the right word, but the more doable it becomes. So with the hands in namaskarasana, step the feet apart. So go nice and wide. Turn the left toes in really steeply, more steeply than you did for trikonasana, and then rotate on the other heel, and then bring the whole of the hips and the chest to face that right leg side. Go back to the dots, that back leg dot especially, turn it inwards. The more you turn that dot inwards towards the kind of inner groin, the more you do that, the more the hips come level. So just feel that your hips are level. Keep the hands in namaskarasana. Keep the chest extending forwards, keeping those legs really firmly activated. And then keeping the head up. Come forward, stretching forwards. You can let go of the arms and use the blocks if you need it. Keeping those legs really firmly activated, especially that back leg. Come down. Bring in body down along the leg. To release, you can let go of the arms, bring your hands either side of the foot, or use the blocks. Bend that front leg, step forwards, and then come up into Tadasana. Bring the blocks over to the other side. So parsvottanasana with the hands in namaskarasana. So when you really think about those upper thighs, maybe it brings some good stability to your pose. Just allow your breath to return to normal. Stretch into the arms. Activate those dots. Stretch your arms forwards, spread in the palms, reach behind you, bring the fingertips together, and then walk your hands up towards your neck. Bring the palms together. And then step the feet or jump the feet apart. Turn your right toes in steeply, the other leg all the way out, and then maybe even turn that right heel all the way out once you've turned. Bring the chest to face the left side of the room. activate those dots, turn them inwards, consciously turning them inwards as you come forwards. Lengthening the spine, keeping the head lifted as you go down. And then trying to bring the chest down to the legs, keeping the head lifted until that's the case, and then bring the head down. But keep those legs really firmly activated. Okay, you can release your arms, bring your hands to the floor, and then bend that front leg, step in, and then come back up out of the pose and stand up. So that's not the classical way of coming out of the pose, but I always find that is kind of lighter on the back. So just feel your energy. Just be in Tadasana, activating the physical body in Tadasana. And just feel the lightness around the head and the chest and the arms and the abdomen and the legs. Stretch your arms forwards, interlock your fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head. So as much as anything, parsvottanasana is a balancing pose, isn't it? So we have to bring our attention inwards in order to balance. Sometimes we have good balance days, other times we don't. So it's just an acknowledgement of that. We're not trying to judge ourselves, just acknowledging it. Just bring your arms back down, swap the interlock of the fingers so that the other index finger is on the top of the stack, and then just raise your arms over your head again. And then release your arms, just feel the energy in the arms and in the palms, keeping the legs activated. Just come down onto your knees, have your hands shoulder width apart, have your feet hip width apart, just step back a little. And then bring yourself up into dog down, activating those dots again. Finding the freedom within the body's energy. And then come down onto your knees. Just sit back on your heels, lifting up into the chest. Just again, observe the energy that you have released through your practice so far. Deep, profound lightness that feels as though it radiates from core of the being, through the organs and the muscles and the flesh in the skin. Bringing a sense of positive well-being. Just acknowledging the feelings of the physical body. And then gently sit yourself down directly onto the mat. Have a belt where you can reach it. Have a blanket that you might need to sit on, and have a couple of blocks nearby. So first of all, we're just going to sit ourselves directly on the mat. So just roll over, roll the buttock flesh out to the sides, and just try and find a point of levelness where the hips feel level. Just bring your hands to the sides of the hips. Just lift up into the chest. Extend the legs away. So go back to those dots. Reactivate those dots with the thumbs. Press them down and then push those dots down to the floor. Turn them inwards, turn the legs inwards. So the feet are about hip width apart to start off with. And bring the feet together. Get your belt and throw the belt around your feet. Now if you struggle to stay on the front edge of your seat bones, if you find that you kind of sink like this and it's really hard to lift the chest and sit on a folded blanket, just acknowledge what your body is doing for you today. Elevate the heart area to the ceiling, press those dots into the floor and turn them inwards. Lift up into the chest. Take deep inhalations, fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top. Empty the lungs from the top to the bottom. And then just a little bit at a time. If you've got a bad back, then just stay at this stage. But otherwise, just bring the hands a little closer to the feet. Again, all the time rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones. That's really important, especially if you're back. Drawing the abdomen towards the spine, lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm. Just a little bit at a time, coming forwards. If coming forwards doesn't really work for you, then you can get a bolster. Bring the bolster along your legs, and then you come forward along the bolster, and then perhaps you have a block for your head. So you can rest your chin on the block, or you can rest your forehead on the block. So you're coming forwards, but you're coming forwards with greater support. Lifting up into the chest, keeping on the front edge of the seat bones at all time. If you can reach around your feet, then let go of the belt. Lifting up into the chest. Press the dots on the thighs evenly down onto the floor. Lift up into the chest. So we're drawing the body forward, coming down towards the legs, but keep the head lifted as you come forwards. So if we drop the head too soon, that we start to lose the extension of the spine. Press the dots down to the floor. pinning the legs to the floor, coming forwards. And then very gently just come back to the centre, just holding the belt again. Lifting up into the chest, coming forwards onto the front edge of the seat bones. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just feeling the energy of the physical body. Just release the belt and then bring yourself into cross legs. Or if you can do half padmasana, you can be in half padmasana. Just hold on to your knees. The thing with half padmasana is that sometimes it makes you feel uneven at the seat bones, especially if you cross your legs the way that you don't normally. So spend a little time just readdressing your balance. Coming onto the front edge of the seat bones. Rolling the tailbone outwards a little, rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones so that you can drive the abdomen upwards. Lift the heart area, draw the shoulders down. Just take a deep inhalation, and with the exhalation turn to the right side. Drawing your abdomen across and your ribs across, your shoulders across. If you can't stay on the front edge of the seat bones, then just come back to the centre, sit yourself on a folded blanket and then come back around. And then come back to the centre. Just hold onto your knees, roll onto the front edge of the seat bones, lift the chest up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. And then very gently come back to the centre. Come down onto your back for supta baddha konasana. Just letting your back rest into the floor. So come down onto your back. Just pull your knees in towards your chest a little. Just have a little rock about on your back. And then pull your feet towards each other. Draw the knees together. Let the knees fall apart. Just rest your hands on your lower ribs. And allow the body to release into the floor. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Interlock the fingers right into the webbing of the hands. Turn palms all the way out. Squeeze the outer elbows in. And then release your arms along the floor. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, put a folded blanket or some blocks underneath your hands. If there's stiffness in your hips, put blocks underneath your thighs, on the outsides of your thighs. Release your arms, swap the interlock of the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then lengthen your arms along the floor. Just allowing the abdomen to draw in towards the spine, pressing the feet together, turning the tailbone towards the ceiling a little so that you really soften out the lumbar on the floor. So actively extending and addressing any areas of discomfort. And then release your arms. Rest your hands on your lower ribs again. And then gently draw your knees towards each other. Have the knees together and the feet apart. Just resting out the hips. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just a gentle massage on the spine. And then just sit yourself up. Get a blanket for your head. Just make sure that it's evenly folded. And then just lay yourself down along the centre of your mat for shavasana. Just a folded blanket, just supporting the back of your head and the neck. And then allow the physical body to release into the floor. Just listen to the breath, just allow the body to completely surrender to the straight line of the floor. Unhooking the muscles of the arms and the legs. Feeling that sensation of energetic lightness radiating from the core of the bones and the core of the torso, radiating into the organs and the muscles. And the flesh and the skin. Using your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that energetic lightness down into the tips of the toes, the tips of the fingers, and up into the top of the head. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then very gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out your top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in Namaste, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the reclining poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet the chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And when you're ready, just gently release the backs of the hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy, filled yourself up with a lightness that wasn't there before. So thank you very much for joining me.